Hello everyone, warm welcome to our second episode. In episode 1 we have created tables and we've created interface view on top of it, and as can be seen we have those tables, the different fields, for example material mass and all. So in this one we will try to build or enhance our understanding of core data services. Now you must have noted my I'm referring to a different project now. Why? Because I don't have any free credits. So what I'm trying to do is I've moved it to my own on-premise system. So that is where our now the whole project lies. And thanks to ABAPers we have everything available. So in this episode we will enhance our understanding of basics, and we will now then so that in coming 2-3 episodes we are able to learn more about CDS and we are able to create our application. So to start with, if you remember, we had select with a kind of an alias thing where you can rename those fields. So same thing you can have it here. For example, if I say this field as PONO, this as PO item, and this as material, or maybe this also as quantity. So what I'm trying to say is now my these fields have now aliases, and let me just activate it, and I hope it gets activated. Okay, so we have renamed our fields. Let's see what do we have here. We have those fields, right? And if you look at this you will see those SQL which has been fired, right? And number of entries. Okay, select columns. If you want you can, it's like a layout. I don't want to see material or quantity, so I can remove them and I see this, right? And even I can add filter also. For example, I want material to be only mat 1, so it shows me only the fields for which the material is mat 1. Maybe I can select it again, right? So we have mat 1 material, right? So now that means alias is possible, right? So let's see what if can we add something like description for these two means and where somehow, right? So yes, we can do that. How we can do is we can say case means, right, when PC, then I want it to display pieces, right, and end, right? And what do we name this field as? Let's say it uh, mm, we'll see it as let's call it as unit description, and then let's do it for currency also. When euro, EUR everyone knows, but we are adding as description euro, then and as currency description, right? And let's look. Okay, so if I just press activate, if you notice here the signs are also different for calculated one, and if I just press F8 now, so we have this currency and description. And if you notice this, we have briefly talked about these annotation. This, you know, that whenever a database SQL is generated, you can see this SQL create here. This is how it has been generated. And then preserve key is basically when you, let's say you have two CDS views A and B, and you create a third view which is C, and for C, in order to have C consider these key fields, whatever we have defined in C, we need to have this annotation. If we don't have this, then it automatically drives from A and B. Authorization check we will discuss, and end user label is very clear. Yeah, so maybe now we understand case as, and now next move to class. Okay, so we have got our unit description, currency description, right, based on case statement, and we see two warnings here which are else is missing, so maybe let's add that also. We say else you display default, in case this description doesn't match, then you display as default, right? And same here. Now otherwise, if there is something which doesn't match, it will show null values. But since in our case we have everything being matched, so uh, it is there are no warning, there is only one, which is authorization check. Let it remain as it is. So I just say f8, nothing changed, we have got this description, right? Now okay, so now imagine that this amount, which is 2 decimal places, I want to display it as something like 4 decimal or something. How do we do it? So for that also, what we have is a cast statement. This works same like we do it in ABAP casting, right? From one data type to another. So we can cast WR BTR since it's ABAP dot, and then you can let it be currency length is 20, decimal is, let's say, 3, right? And we name it as 3 decimal, right? So now we will add another column whose name is his name will be as 3 decimal. I'll just activate it. Ignore these one, this is okay. So it is activated, and I say this. Now you can see this amount, which is 2 decimal, has been converted into 3 decimals, which is what we wanted, right? Now, and you must be thinking, can we nest them? Yes, of course we can nest them. For example, I can have rather than displaying pieces, let's try to see if we can display only the first 5 characters, right? So what I can do is I can say cast whatever is this result of this, right, as abap dot char, and length I say is 1 2 3 4 5. So instead of pieces, now it shall display as piece. Okay, and you will see one warning that okay, the loss of data will happen. That is okay, because we are doing it by knowingly, right? Because we want to understand. So if I just say f8, now you have piece, not pieces, right? So you can use this, right? Now, and let's say we want to this, we have pretty printer there. The same way you can format stuff here also, right? So how do you do that? So you go here and you say format, right? So now it will format everything, right? And another thing which I forgot to tell was you can maintain the comments as same single comment, and multi line one is also the same way. Nothing fancy, it's just that wanted to show you this is how it happens, right? And then if you just do a right click and you go to open with, right, and go to dictionary log, so it gives you all the activation steps. This is coming from the when you do an activation in a C level, the same way it comes here, right? And if you now let's just explore something. Let's click on active annotation for the time being. So if you just look at active annotations under ABAP catalog, this is a view name, these one, right? These are coming, right? The same one. And then for each field, how it defines that, okay, for eval, what does it mean? It means purchase order document number. So it is using this end user text one. It's giving the text also, right? So these are by default when we refer to a field of the table, it automatically brings in its data element info, and you can see that, right? Now maybe let me again go there and go to dependency analyzer, So it tells you that okay, the base table was PO item, a database table, then you created a PO item view, CDS view, which is of type STOV, right? And those are the basic stuff which it shows. And let me close this, bring it, close dictionary log, it is okay, let it remain. And then let me see, do we have anything more which I want to showcase as of now? Dependency, this is okay. Source code, add comment format, metadata extension, we will come to it sometimes later, not now. I think this slowly we will explore. So as of now we have got a view which has, we have used how do we use add statement, how do we use cast statement, and how do we use case statement, how do we nest them. Now what if we want to have certain date, time, and default fields, for example client, user, date, time, etc. How do we add it? So for that also, all you need to do is, I'll say there's a global variable which is available $session and where, which has 4 fields: your client, system date, system language, and user. So let's just add that. We'll say client as client, and date as jet date, or not data, then language also as jet lang. I'm just trying to add all these fields and trying to explore what all we can do within the system. So and then I say user also as jet user, right? So now we have added these 4 fields and just activating stuff, and I will close other tabs. Once it is activated, I go here and now you can see there's a client, date, language, and user which is coming. So these are the normally 4 session variables which are available to us and we can use them. Now you must be thinking that okay, we have got a select fields, we are able to modify fields, we are able to add certain fields. Where is the where clause? We haven't added till now, right? So what you need to do is, you need to write here where, let's say matner. For the timing we try to filter on mat1. Okay, so you show me all the records of mat1. This is mat1 as like it has 20 rows, mat1 will have less. Let's try to activate it, and I say F8, so we all get as record of mat1, right? But then you must still be thinking that okay, this is hard coded, right? So can we pass some is it like parameters to it and get this thing done? So yes, you can pass parameters. So this is something which will keep on we'll start from the basic, and the more we get into association, views, joins, it will become more complex. So how do we declare a parameter? So all you need to do is you go here, define view this, and then you say with parameters. For example, I want p underscore metner and its type is also metner, right? Now this p underscore metner is our it's a variable, it's our what do we say, it's our input which this PO item interface view is expecting. So if I now just say I activate it, right? And if I now say F8, it asks you okay, what is the parameter. So for example, if I say mat1, it doesn't matter because mat1 I have hard coded, right? Till now I have not used it. We'll see how to use it. Now if I again go ahead and say F8 mat2, but it will still fetch for mat1 because it is hard coded. So how do we use it? So all you need to do is, instead of this, you say one way is dollar parameters colon dot and then p underscore metner. Simple. And then once you activate it, progress. So okay, activated. And now in case if I just say F8. Now you will see if I pass mat2, right? So you will see mat2, and if I pass here now mat1, you will see mat1. Perfect. So we see now that how do we pass parameters, how do we do certain operations, right? And maybe what we can do is we can now try to use some SQL functions also. How do we use them? So what I will do is, let's create one more view, but we will create it ZI PO item SQL PO item SQL functions we want to explore. So I'll say next, and the same one, it is okay. Yeah, this is the first view because we have not got into association and all. Parameters, yes, but since we want this new view to be a basic one, because I want to explore the SQL functions, right? So this this view name will be why there is no hold on. So maybe let me just quickly copy this. I don't know why Control C is not working for me, and I say paste, and let us name it as PO item SQL, and this one will be, name will be POSQL1, okay, and view is this. I don't want any parameter, and okay, this is good. Okay, let's now comment this thing. Okay, so maybe let's just select client. Okay, I'll tell you what I am trying to showcase. Let's first kind of see how do we know how many purchase orders are there, right? So what I can do is I can have count star, which will be like, it will count the total rows as total rows. I hope you remember this count star, right? Then I say count distinct eBalance as a unique eBalance. So this one will be like all rows, and this is like unique eBalance, right? And then I want a minimum purchase order amount which is there for each line item. So I'll say min PO line, and then same way we can have max PO line, right? And then we can have what is the average amount for this amount, so average PO line, right? And then what else I want then? Okay, so this is what I want, right? And then once you use those SQL functions, you need to also add a group by clause based on the field based on which you want this operations to be done. So I say for the whole client you group by MNDT, and you show me what is happening. Okay, so I just say execute. I'm activating it and it gets activated, and if I now say F8, so you see we have total 20 rows of this, yes, and there are, so it says now there are 20 unique eBalance, which is very good. Minimum PO is of amount 1000, so let's just look at it here. 1000, yes, 1000, correct. max is of 70, 50, and then this is what its average is of the PO line item. So that's how normally we use, right? And in fact, you can kind of do whatever you can build on this understanding. So these are the different SQL functions, right? So now till now let's just hold on for a second and understand what we have understood. So we looked at SQL functions, number one. We looked at how do we use an as statement, right? And then we looked at cast statement, sessions, parameters and all, right? Now from here what we will do is now we will jump towards joins, union views. How do we create union of two different tables which are not related but still you get something out of it. Then you will go towards associations and inner join. So maybe let's then first start with we'll start with union, and then from there we go to joins and then association. Okay, so let's maybe first try to understand what this union is. Union is like when you want to combine two different tables, right? But they are not, you don't have any where clause in between them, a joining condition, right? But you still know that okay, there are these three rows and these three rows of this table and this table, I want to combine them, right? So that's where we use it. Now in our case what we'll do is we'll use these two tables. One is we'll use our view PO header, right? It has three fields, so we'll create a new view which will only have these three fields, right? Okay, one will be purchase order, one will be plant, another will be company code, and then we will join it with maybe purchase order from item, and let's have a unit description from item, right? And then third one can be PO item. So basically these three fields, then all the data from these three fields goes to those three fields, right? So all you need to do first is that I'll say do a right click in this. I'll say ZI union PO, that's it, and description for the interest of time I'll say as it is. Next, and for union we don't have any as of now, so let's target it as it is, right? And okay, so I say let me first change the union SQL view. Okay, so I say you first data source is a ZI PO header, right? And I want all the fields. Key is not important as of now. I'll say Ebelin as field 1, right? And then I say works as field 2, and then I say this as field 3. Okay, so I need these three fields from the first, and I want to join it with select from union. So I say select from ZI PO item, and then what all fields I want here. So I want maybe Evelyn as field 1, the same. So the important thing is that these two views shall have, when you create a union, is that they shall have same number of fields, similar kind of names, and if you have any where clause conditions or associations in here, we'll see association slowly, then you should have also here. So it's like a unique thing here should be here, so it's all should be same and consistent, then only you can join two tables, make a union of two tables. Otherwise, if one table you are selecting 3 fields, another you have 4 fields, so it'll be tough. Or either you make that field as blank, you have to have 4 fields. Okay, so I say ebel and I don't think we have in ebel, we have PO number. Yes, PO, we changed it, right? So I say PONO as field 1. Then I will choose unit description as field 2. Okay, and then third one is PO item as field 3. right? Then it shall work. No. See, because we have defined this our PO item view with parameters. So it is expecting a parameter. The entity Jedi PO items requires a parameter. How do we pass a parameters? In this case is you put a braces and you say p underscore metner colon. I'm hard coding as of now. If you want, you can pass it, define a pass it from there also, right? So I say okay. Now we have another issue that says field 3 data element, which is most probably this one, right? Union select 2 is different. So basically this field 3 is of 4 character, this is a 4 character, right? If you go to our view ZPO item and PO header, let's first check PO header. This is Bucharest. This I do an F3, it's tell me it's a 4 car, okay? And then in PO item I go and I click here in my eBulb, I do an F3 and then it tells me it is num5, so it's different, right? Length is different. I need to somehow make it same. So what I can do is, if you remember, that's what we explained to you is about casting, right? So I'll say cast PO item as abap dot car 4, right? And then I close it. So now we have same, no warning. Warnings are there. Most probably warning is because of this is an old warning coming from there. I think we are okay, so let me just activate it, right? And then we'll tell you something which happens now. So it is activated, and if I just say F8, so now you see this. So maybe let's just open our let me close few things first. So this I want, I don't want this I don't want, I want PO item, I don't want PO item. What is this one I have given? We have given mat 1, okay? So I say first let's open for mat 1. So for 1 we have mat 1 and description is piece, right? So what do we have here? 1 piece. You see this? This is again terminated. I'll tell you why. But for the time being, let's just focus that okay, this entry is coming from PO item with this one, right? That is also terminated because here it is 0010. We have changed it to 4 characters, so it is terminated. This one is coming from PO header, and if I just open its content from 1 D1000, it is not terminated. There is nothing terminated in our union on for the PO header, but for PO item I see 2 termination. Let's see why. Because when you create a union, the data type of the whole union is by default taken from the fields of the first one. So works is 4 characters, that's why you see unit description till 4 length, PIEC, that's it. And similarly Bucharest is also 4 character, that's why PO item already you have casted for 4, so it automatically terminate, or what do we call the other word, it basically trim the last character, that's why you see 0001. So that's how normally you create views, right? Now you can make this views more complex by adding associations, then you have your own clauses, etc. Slowly we will see it happening. So now, since we understand how do we create a basic union, let's now from union we jump onto the joins. We'll try to understand what joins are. Okay, so before I go to the further to the joins, let's look at one more thing in our union. So maybe let's create one more PO, and I say Jedi union PO2, and it's for demonstrating union all. Okay, so I say next, and finish. So this I will say is kind of I'll copy this from our union one, and I will say it like this. Okay, so I say the first table is still the same, right? uh, but second also, what if we have a join on the same table, not join the union on the same table? Okay, then what shall happen, we'll see. So if I just copy this to here, right, and I remove as. So we have now, how many records we have in PO header? So in PO header we have 11 purchase orders total, and I say 11 choose from here, 11 I choose from here. It's the same table, right? I just say activate, and hopefully it gets activated. Yes, it is activated. I say F8. Wow, we see only 11 entries, not 22. Okay, and what if I say union all, and I just say activate now, control F3, and if I now go here and do a refresh, I get 22 rows. So when you don't specify all, it deletes the duplicate elements. It's like the for all entries one. If it has not unique one, it deletes them. And if you specify union all, then only it basically kind of bring in all the entries. And I wanted to show you one thing more, which is if I go to SQL create of this union one, then you will see there is a view, this, and then there are typical database functions, rtrim, cast, right? This is a typical database functions which are being executed on the database. So I think we have covered fair bit of union. Now logically we need something to right now it is like we are combining, but they are not joined by any conditions. What if they are joined by any conditions, which is by joins, right? So maybe let's create a first there are different kinds of join. Theory says left join, right join, inner join, close join. We'll have a look at 1, 2, 3 types of joins, and then we will after understanding those joins, how do we create joins, we'll move from there to associations, and we will learn how these associations are different from joins. So I'll create a ZI inner join, and this join will be between PO header and PO item. And this time we are going to choose define view with join. So I'll just say finish. It automatically creates the template. You don't need to remember everything. So you have this, right, a different template. So let me just fill this here. So we say define view this, select from first source. My first source is ZIPO header, and let me alias it as header. My second is ZIPO item. I want to combine PO header and item as item, and then I say header dot ebalance, which is purchase order number, and then I say item dot PONO. We have renamed it. I want it to be an inner join, not an outer join. So it's an inner join. Now you need to tell what all field you want. For example, I want ebalance from header. I want works from header. Then from item I want material, and item I want of course PO item, right? No, and I think that's it. So from header, oh okay, so table name is gone. So ZIPO header is this, ZIPO item as item, right? We still have an error. Why? Because ZIPO item needs a parameter, and how do I pass it? I say brackets p underscore metner will pass it still mat1. So you can take it as another condition. So all records of mat1 will be displayed, right? So I just say activate. It is activated, and if I just say F8, you see this 1 2, right? But 3 4 did not come, right? Why 3 4 did not come? Let me, do we have PO item? No, yes we have. So for PO item 3 4 doesn't have material as mat1. So basically PO items considered these one, and then it matches the PO number. And if you notice, item has a PO item PO number 12, but our header table doesn't have it. That is an inconsistency which we have. It occurred while I was creating the test data. So if you see in PO header we have till 11, but PO item has 12 also. So keep it in mind. So 3 4 did not come. Why? Because they are part of mat2. They have material as mat2. And now if I, for example, change it to mat2, right, and I activate it, I would expect only 3 4 to come. I say refresh, 1 2, and 6 11 also came. Why? Because 6 11 has 2 line items, right? That's why 20 mat2 and 10 has mat2 and 20 has mat1. That's why. Okay, so inner join is, you have a condition, working condition, where the left hand side matches with right hand side. And what if I say left outer join, right? And let's keep it as mat1. And if I say I'm using the same, no, I will create another one, because then it will be easy for you to walk through the code. Yes. So let's maybe create another one for ZI left outer join. Okay, so these are like example for you. You can practice as much as you want, right? And I choose the same, and this time what I will do is, maybe I'll use till here the same everything. So it is the same. In place of, I say left outer join, right, and let me say define some view. So now we have a left outer join, and we have mat1. So what left outer join does is, in case syntax error, okay, what syntax error? Check this contains error, but where is the error? So let's go here. ZILFS was not activated. Where is the syntax error? I think it has to do with the size, if I'm not wrong. There's a limit of 16 characters. That's what I where is the syntax error? Left outer join, this, there is the one. So if I now say activate, I have not messed up the 16 character limit. So I hope this thing gets run. It's taking some time. So we have our left outer join is activated, and if I just say a fade, now we have the record as mat1 records for 3 and 4 also, because for the one for which there is no entry on right hand side, it is bringing those 3 4 values. But since we have 3 4 does not have mat1, so it is blank, and this is 0 0 0 the item number, so which is perfect. So that's how normally left outer join how it works. You can also give it the cardinality if you want, to many or to one, and then accordingly it will uh, get the record, or multiple records or a single record. So now we will have a look at right outer join. So I will say zi right outer o join, I'll say it is right, and I'll just put it here and I say next. This is join, which is good, and meanwhile I'll copy this stuff, right, and we will put it here, and the name is again this, and instead of left it is now right. Right outer join, I press save, and then I activate it. It is activating, and if I press F8, now I see one entry more is coming. But since I have not selected the PO number from the items, that this is a case where PO item exists but PO header does not exist, right? And we know it is our PO is 12 because we created an inconsistent data, but still, just to validate it, let me choose that field from our item, because it is a right outer join, which means if value exists in right side field, which is right side source, which is item, but not on left, still we will want right side one. So now where is that field? I have not selected it, so I go here and select the column, and 12 it is. So it is correct, and I think now we understand how joins work. And maybe let's just quickly have a look at the not there, I wanted to see a SQL create. So this is how a typical create statement for our joins is, a typical create one. And plus, if you look at do a right click and do a dependency analyzer, now you will see a beautiful way of this dependency tree. So earlier we had these database table, PO item, PO header. From there we created two interface views, PO header SQL, PO item SQL, and then we have a right. So so let me just recap what we have done till now. We started by creating our basic database tables. Then on top of it, we created our basic CDS view in episode 1. In episode 2, we talk about how do we use aliases, how do we use cast, how do we use this case statement, and then how do we see those SQLs which are generated. Then from there we might move towards what are unions, how do we create unions, union all, and then from there, because unions were typically there was no join condition, that is why we then shifted towards join, how they are joined, different kinds of join. I think we have covered a fair bit of basic stuff of all the making sure we understand the basics in a great way. One thing is left, which is association, which I would like to take it on our next episode, along with we'll start building our actual data model based on which we'll create our Fiori elements also. That will actually help us in understanding more things. So thank you everyone for watching, and make sure you like, subscribe and share the typical stuff, and your assignment will be mailed to you in another 1 to 2 days. Stay safe and do provide your feedback. Thank you. Take care.